So, good morning. Thanks for introduction. So the slides will remain in German. The presentation will be in English. Why I'm standing here? Photo Finish had an extremely simple business model. That was roll of film into an envelope. And the selling process was our customer came into one of the retail stores we were serving, disposed the film, and 1 day later, he or she came back and picked it up. And now we're living in a total different world. Images are everywhere, on the screen, on the TV, on the mobile. That's why we are here. And now we have the goal, again, as finisher, to try to monetize that, to try to convince our people to go back into retail, pick it up, or get it disposed at home, or something which is very, very good, and you will see it in my presentation, print at retail, which is something which happens a lot when using mobile phones. You said, I'm part of the future, but I think the future sometimes learns from the past. Therefore, I tell a little bit about the history of our company and how this was all emerging, how we managed the first technology transfer from analog to digital. We can learn a lot to how we can convert to mobile, how to talk to the consumers, and that's why you are here. I will deliver, of course, some data. What are our customers doing with their mobile images? And finally, I would like to conclude. So, CV, color is not existing anymore, I will come to it later, originally was founded in 1912. And in Oldenburg, which was a military place in Germany, Karl Wöltje was photographing the soldiers. So that was really how he started. And the first technology transfer he had to do is when cameras appeared. So instead of taking photographs from the soldiers, he had to sell cameras. So the change is already there in the DNA of our company. And so he sold cameras. In 1961, when the color film really appeared, his son-in-law decided to found CV Color, and the name Color was there because it was the color film. Later we deleted that because we made a survey and asked people, what do you think about CV Color? And we thought it's detergents. So we deleted that, and now it's CV. And this was the good old times of photo, where one print was priced for 1 Deutschmark. That was approximately $2. So, why I'm telling you that? Because it's pretty normal that things are coming and going. So nothing in our world is until eternity. So it's clear that you have to do something, and if something's going down, what you can do, you can lower the price, you can try to do more marketing. Heiner will do it pretty well, but you need more product in order to survive. And you need more products in order to develop your company. So we did that. For those who don't know CV, we are market leader in Europe. We are running 11 factories. We're serving 24 countries. And we serve on a daily basis 25,000 retail stores where we pick up photo development and where we dispose photo development. We also have retail stores. And if you want to see how a retail store can easily survive, it has to look like this. That's our flagship store in Norway, in Oslo. So it's not something I know 30 square meters and selling only lenses or something like that. You would like it, I know, but I think this is also better. And if you look at the Leica stores, they also look like this. So these are the retail partners we serve. So we reach consumers through the strong brands you are seeing here. And we do all of the photo services for them. And how is the business model? So the customer goes into a retail store or orders online. 75% of our orders are coming online. 25% are coming through retail stores. And the funny thing is, after being developed, 70% are going back into the retail stores. So it's not only because the people like I from Stuttgart, so we are like the Scottish, we like to save money for postage and shipping, but it's also that you can open your order where you look at the photo book, you can talk to the retail, say, oh, is this great, or I don't like it. So it's really this connection. And at retail, you see the products. You see how beautiful a photo book is. You see how beautiful the greeting card. And that's also, you will see it later, extremely important for addressing people which have images on their mobile phones. So we do all of this. We do the back end, we do the software, we do the front end. All of this is done by CV. And to give an idea, on the peak day, we transfer more than 30 terabytes of image data in 1 day over the internet. So that's approximately what we are serving. So it's pretty much. Of course, there are still classical products like photos, something pretty new retail style. We are not allowed to call them Polaroid style, so that's a brand issue, so we call it retro style. So which is, can you see Instagram, we saw it yesterday, the square pictures with something which is addressing mobile. Special mobile products like cases for mobile phones, cases for tablets, calendars. This is now the one slide for making advertisement. Think about your Christmas presents, calendars is great. So that's something that you could really do. Wall deco, greeting cards, that's it. So how did we manage? This is really how to learn how we can also address mobile. So this is a slide you all know, good old times in the late 90s. 4 million cameras sold in Germany, only very little. A lot of them were Olympus, 80,000 were digital. And in the peak 2008, 9 million digital cameras were sold, hardly any analog camera. So company like CV lost in 10 years nearly 100% of its business. That's normally the end of everything. You know, a lot of our competitors disappeared. We did something better. We had to lower the capacities. We had nearly 30 factories when I joined CV98. Now we have 11, as you've seen. We invested pretty early, and you have to be early and to test whether it works and spend a lot of money for digital technologies. We developed new sales methods. We were lucky that there was a mega trend, and if you are successful, a mega trend helps. That's a personalization, which I will come to later, leads into industry, the Internet of Things, as we Americans say, Industry 4.0. We built a brand, and we really invested a lot, and investments were really driving innovations because you need people which believe that the company will survive, and that's what we did. We had to do a lot of business model innovations, from analog to digital in production, from finishing to digital printing, from selling in the retail stores, selling online, from going to a retailer and convince him to come from Fuji to CV to a key account management, which is regional or even European. Classical transportation with cars to internet packaging and go to DHL and things like that. From a pure white label production to a brand, we cannot sell photo books. BMW is not selling cars, it's selling a BMW. And from something which has to be done, to be developed, to selling an Eskimo and refrigerator because he does not need it, because he has seen the image before. So that was really how CV survived, and that also helps us for going into mobile. So you see how the changes developed pretty early. We started with digital production. We had a photo kiosk in 1997, hardly any digital prints were there. And only as a proof that you have to be early, I was invited at Holcim 2 years ago to do a presentation about technology management. And 2 days before, I saw in the Handelsblatt that in China, people are printing houses with 3D printers, 200 square meters for 5,000 euros. So if you are selling concrete, I would think about, is this attacking my market? But the normal reaction is, oh, in Europe, it's no problem. They want bricks, they want steel, they want to build it until eternity. And I say, no, because he's a clever guy. He's buying it for 5,000 euros, and he makes a mistake, and half a year later, he buys a new one without these mistakes. So this is really this openness you have to survive, and this is the openness you have to survive also in the mobile space. So that's what we did. This is the very first kiosk we built. This is what is currently out. And with Fraunhofer, where it's correct, currently we are developing a 3D kiosk, which is non-touchable, which has a 3D, and you really see this beer chop, of course, is not outside, it's only an illustration, but you can handle it 3D without touching. So you have to embrace new technologies, not to fight against it. And you have to do an analysis what customers are doing. In digital, they took more pictures because it was free of cost. They were afraid to miss the right moment. Images are now used for social communication. We heard it yesterday. Storage is no problem. And you don't think about what to do with the images while you take the image. Either you make food porn, as we learned yesterday. So it becomes very complicated to find the relevant images. And it becomes very complicated to tell compelling stories. So our answer in the classical digital space was the CV photo book, where we support people doing all of that. For example, we also made some media conversions where you can implement in a CV photo book a video. How does it work? You simply drag and drop the video to the page. It automatically generates a QR code, select some frames, and when you get the printed product at home, you take your mobile. he could scan this now, and you get a film displayed, the film which is linked to these images. So already there we got these mobile phones linked to printed products, which was really funny at that time, because when did this idea start? 2009, we were in an external workshop and thinking about what can be good for a CV photo book. And this was the result. You need sound in the CV photo book. If the bride says yes, it has to be in a CV photo book. I said, okay, great idea, but we don't know how to do it. So also we have our supervisory board members that you need the speaking, the talking CV photo book. We had colleagues from Prague. We implemented an iPad into a CV photo book, which quadrupled the price, which was not really a good idea. And we had a competitor in Israel. They put an MP3 device at the end, included with 10 buttons, and you had to press one button when the bride was saying yes, but if the face of the bride was exactly there, you had to punch into the face. So that was really not a great idea. And so in an internal workshop, we came up with this idea with the QR code. It took us 3 years, and we were relying on technology which were on the market, which we also do, of course, with mobile phones. And to tell you why mobile is not something really surprising, I would like to show you a video which our retail department made to tell you that it's pretty obvious that the communication of mobiles and photo merge. That was a summary of what we have seen in the slides before. Go, go, go. So, but very important is how to get this really transferred to our consumers. And this is the value chain of selling products in the photo space. People are interested, they use the software, and then they print. And of course, this is all new when you talk about mobile. So how do you look at advertisement? How do you get information about what you want to do? Which software are you using? Usability and design is totally different in mobile when it is on the desktop software or on a mobile. So this is something we really have to think about. How can we address that? Still, service is very important. We are delivering a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If Heino is making a CV photo book of his travel to Africa and he's misspelling the title on the spine, he calls our customers and said, I made a mistake, and they say, do it again for free. This is less than 1 per mil doing that. But this is something which is, especially in the mobile space, becomes very important to give you security that you're not making something wrong. And what's also a challenge for us is CV is trying to be sustainable, trying to support photo whom do we have to support in the mobile space in the near future? That's also a question every industry has to think about. How do we win new customers? It was pretty easy in the internet. You have Google, you try to be up there in SEA, you try to be up there in SEO. It's pretty easy. We can look at our ordering time, so we get the peak in the orders in evening, so we have to be very active here in advertisement. How do people behave in the mobile space? How do we get people, and do we do mobile first? Do we do with people? So this is something really industry has to face heavily, how to do that in the near future. How do we do development in new time? You have to be constant, innovate or die. So what did we do in the classical space? We have a community where we get feedback. People are sitting at home, we are working on our software, we're giving feedback much earlier than our customer care. How does this work in the mobile space? How can we do eye tracking with people on the mobile phone sitting in the rain, in the train or in the flight? That's impossible. So how is crowdsourcing running via mobile? That's very important questions. How do we support people in making products? See, we developed a thing called the CV photo book assistant. 10%, really believe it or not, make a CV photo book in less than 13 minutes, but we have people which work 40, 50, 60 hours on that because we use the assistant which can select and pre-select images. How does this work in the mobile space? So we have to really reinvent nearly the whole company. And this was an idea where Mr. Schädel and I got first together. Again, like this, we did an interdisciplinary symposium. What is a good image? So these were professional photographers, travel journalists, Leica was there, imaging solutions was there, image engineering for testing, we had the universities there. So what is a good image is a new question also for the mobile space. How do we handle selfies? How do we propose selfies to be implemented into a product? How does mobile phones affect our production? Maybe you think, why is he talking about that? Because people want to have instant feedback. If we do something with mobile and we order from the mobile, they directly influence our production. So this information directly goes into our production. You have to be very, very careful what you are doing there. And I would like to show you an advertisement of Adobe, which I think is one of the best I ever saw.
Peter, come take a look at this.
Mr. Daniels.
Mr. Daniels.
Look at this. What's this?
The numbers, they keep getting bigger and bigger.
The clicks are off the charts.
Yeah.
Yoshi, it's Walter. We're back.
Yes, sir! More shifting!
I need more trees! More trees? I'll get you more trees!
Hey, take a look at wood pulp.
Whoa. Everything you got on wood pulp right now.
He really loves that thing.
So that proves that if you allow somebody to directly interfere with your production, you have to be very careful and you have to use your brain in order to believe on data coming from the internet. So, a lot of preliminary things now to go really what you're expecting from me. How is mobile affecting our production? What are we getting? You have seen this image, it was very often used. This is a copy from the Stern. People are changing how they take images. And if you look at this is data from 2014 from CV websites. We are now in nearly every country in 16, over 50% of our people going to our websites are addressing the websites from mobile phones. This is something you really have to be aware of. And the second thing, as you see in the screens, it's clear, everybody knows it, compact cameras, point-and-shoot cameras are substituted by mobile phones. So what was the first answer of CV? We developed apps where we battle against our competitors like before with our desktop software. The good thing is that the ordering device and the picture-taking device are merging. So that's an opportunity, of course. On the other hand, that's a risk. People don't take the time, they don't organize the images like we did before. So we have to find solutions in order to address that, in order that people have fun with their images everywhere where they are. We developed, for example, I have to go back, so you can order all of the products you're seeing here, everything that CV offers in one device. Mobile phone users are different than desktop users. They are sometimes the same, but even they change behavior when they change devices. So we have a discussion about single-purpose apps versus multi-purpose app. So when we developed, for example, an app which you only can order prints, and why did we do that? We offer it now in a 16:9 aspect ratio. Why? What is the Huawei P9 aspect ratio? 16:9. But all the ordering systems normally do 3/2. They cut. So these are things you have to develop, special things. You have to promote it specially to these consumers that they like these apps. Because if they do it once and the feedback is not good or the print is not good, they are gone forever. You have to get engaged directly on the device with the consumer. Engagement is something really important. There's one, of course, CV example. We developed an app where you can send directly from your holidays a postcard. You use your images. This was, for example, here you see my Greek visit. This was Africa, like from Heino. You take your images. You don't go to the kiosk and buy a postcard. You don't have to buy a stamp. You put the text in here. You get the addresses out of your address book. You can use the touch screen to sign it. It looks really like a personally made postcard, and you still straight send it home. One day later, it's at your beloved family at home. And this is trying to get engagement. This is something CV will not earn money with. We earn money with CV photo books, calendars, greeting cards, but this is getting the people engaged with mobile phones. This is getting the people getting engaged to printed products. And this is not only a CV trend. I was last week in San Francisco. There was a conference called Mobile Photo Connect. That's one day only about apps for photo. And the one trend was engagement. I'll give you some examples. Kipi, for example, is an Israeli company. They try to get grandparents, parents, and children linked together if they live away. For example, if the children make some paintings in school, you photograph it, you upload it to Kipi, the grandparents see it, they can comment it, they can order it. That's starting engagement. Doing collages, turn your photos into stories. You know, Google Photos is really getting engaged with photos and all of these things. So it's really that people think about and work with the genre or theme, photography in the content. And the question was, how do we do that? And the answer there definitely was, it has to happen on the phone. It has to be an app, not an HTML5 thing or something like that. It has to happen on the phone because you need instant feedback. And of course, technology has to be easy to use. And I think we will all benefit from this. Even if we still use desktop software and if we use online thing, if the technology is easier to use, we will all benefit from that. We did also something like that. We launched on Photokina an app called CV My Travel, where you can upload beautiful images from where you're going or even where you're living, and people can comment on that. And this is no turnover, no revenue linked to that. It's only getting the people involved with photography. Trend number 2, and that of course I like very much, was the main, not to say the only possibility to monetize photo in apps is print. Subscription and in-app payment do not succeed. There's nobody really succeeding with that. Trying to sell the emotions which are linked to photo while offering advertisement in these apps also failed, because people like Heino, you saw him yesterday, he's a marketing pro. They spend their money on Google and Facebook. They don't spend money in a small, little, tiny app. So this idea of getting the emotional link to the children, everything sold or paid via advertisement is not really working. And one thing which these people learned is there are 80,000 photo apps only in the iOS stores. How do we find the Saarbacher photo app in order to optimize images on place 79,855? Impossible. But if he says, you can pick up my orders at DM, print at DM or in US print at Walgreens, he will jump to place 555 or something like that. So this link to these retailers will help these apps a lot to be found in the stores. So this print solution also helps them a lot. And of course, special products like 4x4 in the UK or the 10x10 centimeters here, magnets or handy cases are really the entry product to get linked to photo. Which of course we like. And the third trend is print at retail. So that's the CV station, but Kodak, Fuji, they all have similar things. You need also to be innovative here. Maybe you think this is old-fashioned, first point cable here. How many images you have on your mobile phone?
2,380.
How long does this take via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to have an index on the kiosk to select the images? Minutes. How long does it take with the cable? Seconds. So convenience that you see all your images, that you can do it. That's why we went back to, Heino and I, we developed together the kiosk, and we had a proprietary RS-232 in 1998 for every camera, which was linked with a cable. So we are going back to 1998, but it's convenience. So proposing this really at retail store is great. You see here, that's a Müller before Christmas, and look at the age of his people. It's not us, 50. It's 16, 70, 80 plus. We get these people back to printing because it's instant gratification. It's fun doing it. It's fun doing it together. You see here, these two are working together in one kiosk. That's really getting the people involved. And we have over 50% of our instant prints are coming from mobile phones. In last week, in this Mobile Photo Connect, Fuji was saying, depending on the week, it's 40 to 60%. So this is really the ambassador of smartphone printing at retail store. And to show you how this developed, that's really funny. If you look in January 2014, only 13% of the images printed came directly from the smartphone. The second thing, the red one, is USB sticks. Of course, there are smartphone images on USB sticks, which we don't count. That's clear because from Excel we know it. So you see 44.1% are coming directly from the smartphone. At least half of this is also from the smartphones. While making this more convenient, having Wi-Fi, having the cables, we rose it in 2.5 years to 44.1%, which are directly linked from the smartphone to be printed. This is unbelievable how people really use that. Only because of this cable. But this is also linked to special products which we don't sell online or in our desktop software, which is really something people like, the tiles, because they are used to mobile phone, to Instagram, things like photo strips, packaging, and it's this instant gratification versus a memory. And the people want the instant feedback. For example, we have at DM a sticker printer. You buy a shampoo, you can make a sticker and personalize it. It's printed at retail. This is, of course, 80% of the images from mobile phones. It's unbelievable how you get the people engaged. And we also have special products in our classical systems, like the desktop software or online, for example, wall decoration, which has also square layouts, or we offer square frames, which you can directly order at us. So how are these used in all of our products? Of course, you know we have this classical DSLR user, we have a mobile phone users. Currently, August 2016, 23.5% of all files transferred to our production originated by mobile phones. So think 50% kiosk, but also in our factories, every fourth image is already originated by mobile phones. So they use it also for CV photo books, whatever it is. And if you think mobile phones, maybe you think it's good, Reiner, but it's still a risk. I think this proves that it's not a big risk. We have even a higher seasonality in mobile phones. I thought mobile phones, it's more flattened over the year. Look here, in December, we have even more mobile phones, had last year more mobile phones images relatively to DSLR images, because the people use the mobile phone images to give compelling stories to their beloved ones. A CV photo book is a Christmas present, and you make a photo book of the year, and you implement a lot of the mobile phones. So it's even more seasonable, it's also used as a gift. And that things, the finishers are pretty lucky compared to the camera suppliers. And if you really think that's a little bit a busy slide, but the thing you need to know is the highest seasonality is really if you have mixed orders. So if you have in a calendar, in a CV photo book, images from a DSLR and from mobile phones. This is what is open about. Here that's purely DSLR, that's purely mobile. And even purely mobile, you see the people use also our desktop software, which is their HPS. So it's totally the same seasonality. There's no different behavior while ordering. You can read it. These are the top 30 camera types in September of all our products. Also making a CV photo book, and you can see the top one is the iPhone 6, the top two is the iPhone 5S, and then comes Canon EOS 1000, Apple 4S, EOS 500. So in the top 30, there are only 3 high-end point-and-shoot cameras remaining. Most of them are DSLRs and smartphones. So this is really great news for us. And if you look at the redistribution of the suppliers, so you are still in place 7, so I was wrong yesterday evening. Canon is, I deleted the numbers, the percentage, but if you look at it, Canon is, Nikon, they are slightly decreasing. Samsung even going away from a classical photo marking are strongly increasing because of the mobile phones. Sony stable, Panasonic decreasing, Apple growing. Olympus, Fuji, and Casio, classic ones decreasing, and Huawei. In the first month in September in the top 10, they nearly triple. So it's really, you see the P9 is really addressing the needs of the customer, great image quality, great phone. So Apple, Samsung, and Huawei are really dominating the imaging market by smartphones, but to be honest, Apple alone makes 40% of the market in our production. So that's why we changed our software. Our software can now import images from everywhere. If it's our own online thing, if it's Flickr, Facebook, Dropbox, Instagram, all of these images can be implemented for compelling storytelling. And in our online, for example, you see 2 people, classical point and shoot and the mobile phone. These images have to be merged in order to tell compelling stories, and we offer solutions like our group mode in CV My Photos in order to combine these images to do storytelling. So we like smartphones. In summary, we need innovations to really manage this mobile transformation. That really means more than simply substituting classical film or digital data behavior. We have to do compelling storytelling. We don't discount the products. We have to drive the engagement from the smartphones versus photography. We can give more value to files by turning them into prints. Possibility is videos, getting videos involved, because we know a lot of innovation comes from video. We as finishers have to link to all of the major cloud suppliers in order to do that. And very important, we have to learn from the consumers. So innovation is done at least 50% from our consumers, learning from them, asking them, talking to them. We have to develop new special products. That is hard for our production, because we are going from a highly automatic production to nearly back to manufacturing. We have smaller lots, we have more products, so this is really hard for production. And of course, you saw this yesterday, that was from The Guardian. we have to think about how can we support this new image behavior like selfies. Nobody's looking at Hillary, you all want a selfie with her. How do we change our assistant that selfies are definitely suggested? We have to again modify our business models. You heard about the apps, so single-purpose app, multi-purpose app. How do we transfer images to our kiosks? And we get even more complexity in marketing as we had before. We have to do more multi-channel. Before it was omni-channel. We have to look that apps like ours, of our retailers, are found in the stores, and also customer relationship management and social media are getting more complicated. And now I told you a lot that finishers might still be in the value chain in the future, and I will show you a final video. I know Heino will not like it because it's one of our customers' video, but I think it really proves that also the younger generation likes print.
Stefan und ich sind ewig zusammen, wir haben nie über das Heiraten geredet, stand nie zur Debatte. Für mich war das auch überhaupt nicht wichtig, dass man jetzt unbedingt heiraten muss. Von daher war ich total perplex, als dann der Antrag dann doch irgendwann kam. Dann hat er schon so ein bisschen rumgedruckst und er ist kein Mann großer Worte. Dann wusste ich schon so, na, was hat er denn jetzt vor? Und als er dann seine Hand in die Anzugtasche gesteckt hat, wusste ich schon, oh, da holt er jetzt sicherlich einen Ring raus. Also es war schon ein sehr emotionaler Moment. Ich hätte auch nie mit gerechnet. Aber habe natürlich gleich Ja geschrien und ja, war total schön. Die Location war traumhaft, also direkt am Chiemsee, ein Riesengelände, Parkgelände mit einem alten Gutshaus, mit Blick auf den See, mit Blick auf die Berge im Hintergrund und ja, einfach traumhaft. Jeder möchte natürlich die ganze Hochzeitsgesellschaft mal auf ein Foto bringen bei einer Hochzeit. Und dann habe ich das mit der Fotografin abgesprochen. Da gab es bei der Location einen schönen Bootsteg mit einem Bootshaus und Boote im Hintergrund und so. Als ich dann ein Fotobuch gerade für die Eltern gemacht habe und dann habe ich ein Querformat gewählt und habe dann auf die ganze Doppelseite dieses riesige Gruppenbild gemacht und dann alle, boah, geil, das schaut echt cool aus. Stefan und ich schauen uns das Fotobuch schon oft an. Also wir setzen uns dann gemütlich auf die Couch und blättern es dann durch und lassen den ganzen Tag oder die ganze Hochzeit dann auch nochmal Revue passieren. Es ist einfach toll, so ein Fotobuch zu haben, weil so werden die ganzen Momente einfach nochmal lebendig.
And I think, yeah, I know that's why Heino does not like it, because, but what I really like there is, have you seen how she touched the tangible product? This is something you definitely could not do on a mobile photo screen or whatever it is. It was really this tangible feeling she had there. And now I'm finished. I thank you for listening. I thank you for coming on a Saturday morning, and I'm open for questions. Thank you.